My name is Nigel Lewis Baker, and I'm 70 years old this year.
Hello, girls.
I was diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer in 2004, and had probably had it for 5 or 6 years previously with no symptoms showing. My treatment started very early after diagnosis with standard radiotherapy that was a daily session and hormones. And as the first hormone treatment failed, I was given the option of either changing to a different hormone approach or taking part in a clinical trial. So I opted to go for the 14-month trial, at the end of which I remained in the care of the research team because treatments were failing. Now I'm what they currently call hormone relapse, which means current treatments don't work, and so I take part in clinical trials for the research team. Apart from that, I have a daily capsule to enable me to pass water, and I do have a hormone jab on the basis it doesn't do me any harm, therefore we'll keep doing it.
My name is Denton Wilson, and I'll be 60 in August. When I found out when I had prostate cancer, well, it was quite a strange thing. I was having dreams when I was a youth, growing up here in England, because I left Jamaica when I was 9 years old. So I spent most of my life here in England. And when I was in my teenage years, I started to have dreams about my father, but I was told that my father was dead, but this man was saying he's my father. I asked my mom, and she was saying, why do you want to know? Because your dad is dead. And I vowed then, when I was old enough, I would go to Jamaica and find my father. When I found my father, I met him in Jamaica for 2 weeks. At that age, I was 49 years old. I did not know my dad until I was 49 years old. And I spent 2 weeks with my father. And on the last week of the holiday, my father went ill. And then eventually, I watched him slowly ebb away, and he died of prostate cancer. And I didn't even know what that was. So I decided when I come back to England, I will check it out and find what prostate cancer was about. And sure enough, I had prostate cancer. When I found out I had prostate cancer, I was so devastated because I only just met my father, and then to be diagnosed that I had cancer. And when I got diagnosed, I was given 8 weeks to live. And that was so kind of scary. I just sat numb when the doctor told me, and he was saying, Mr. Wilson, you need to do something quick. You know, and I could not do nothing because I just felt I'm going to die. I'm going to die. So I've had cancer for well over 15 years, something like that, if not longer. It's been a up and down struggle in beating this disease. And not only that, I did not know that black men, one in 4 black men will develop prostate cancer than their white counterpart.
I married Janet in 1969, September, so very nearly 46 years, and we have 3 daughters and 8 grandchildren. Much to my surprise, I was awarded the MBE in the Queen's Birthday Honours 2014 for services to cancer patients and for setting up my own charity, Topic of Cancer, supporting immunotherapy research and opening support groups across the UK.
Believe it or not, I've got 18 children and about nearly 30 grandchildren, and I see them all. I am the primary care of two of my oldest grandchildren because of my daughter not being well. They were going to be put into care, and I did not want them to go into care, so I chose to have them living with me from since they were babies. And I had prostate cancer then, but I felt that having them in my life was a good motivator to keep me going as well.
One of the early problems after diagnosis was coming to terms with the fact that I had an incurable and terminal condition, and then realizing, of course, that living is a terminal condition, but I still needed, and occasionally still need, to get away, have my own quiet time. And we're very fortunate here that we live very close to a lot of open land and woodland. So early mornings in particular, when I got up, before I faced the day, I'd go for a long walk or a run when I could in the woods, but finish up in my own refuge. Along the years, I have spent some time in meditation, not serious meditation courses, but part of my daily office that I used to do religiously is a period of contemplation and meditation. And I found that very useful to look within myself. I used to go and track my illness down. It was a nasty black area that I would chase out. And yes, just really closed my mind to all my problems. I did learn a technique once of taking each problem and laying it down in a parcel in front of me for the period of meditation. At the end of it, pick up the ones I either had to or wanted to in the sequence I wanted to pick them up, and left the other ones there. And it's a great way of just separating things in your own mind. My spirituality in life helps me with life generally, and always has in my career, in my family, and became in a way more relevant with cancer. It is the backbone of my being.
The kind of treatment that they wanted to offer me for my prostate cancer was either go to radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and various other elements of to try and cure this disease. And the one that I chose was actually having it removed, totally removed. I felt that if I had it removed, I'm going to survive this. And the one I chose was the operation. The operation changed my life in a sense where I didn't really know what to expect because everything was really rushed. I didn't know that when I woke up from the operation, I had a catheter, this tube stuck into my penis, and that was controlling my bladder and things like that. And it was so painful and it was so embarrassing. That actually isolated me regarding this disease, and I had to have that in for quite a while. But I also had, because of the tube, there was disease around that, so it made it more difficult. When the catheter was removed, then I had problems in my wee was constantly coming out because I could not control my bladder. So I was constantly wet, so I had to wear a big massive nappy. So you can see I was isolated in my house. I didn't have no one to help me. Basically, it was just me and God. And I chose to be on my own. At that time, I had a girlfriend. And I could not have my girlfriend around. I actually pushed her in the arm of another man because I felt useless. I felt less than a man. I felt about my future at the time was bleak. I felt that I didn't have a future because of the nature of this disease. It does belittle you. It makes you less, you feel less than a man because you're not able to, I was very sexually active. That disappeared. I didn't have that kind of feeling about sex or anything like that. And I felt that was part of my makeup. That had gone, and that's why I got rid of my girlfriend. I pushed her into the arm of another man. And I felt I just wanted just to die. I felt suicidal. I felt alone. But I made myself alone. And it was just me and God. You see, I choose not to give up and die because at that time, my daughter was very ill and she had two of my grandchildren and they needed me, and that was a focus thing that helped me as well. So I took those two young children of mine and I looked after them while my daughter got herself treated, and that motivated me to get stronger because I had something to live for. If I was strong and well, I could be able to look after my grandchildren.
Well, I have a variety of volunteer activities. Since I can't get paid, everything has to be voluntary, but it's been very good for me. So apart from my cancer activities, I also volunteer for the National Trust at a property called Polesden Lacey near here. So every Thursday, all day, I'm there as what we call a session organiser, sort of supervising the volunteers in the house. That's very rewarding. It was supposed to be my getaway from cancer, but they all know about me, so I get their stories as well, which is fine. One of my concerns in the early days was being a passenger in life, and I was determined never to be a passenger, so I volunteered in cancer matters with cancer charities, and then my own charity and with National Trust. It gives me a reason for being. It gives me meaning in my life. I'm doing something useful, something that's appreciated. One of the dangers of having a cancer diagnosis, particularly a terminal cancer diagnosis, is it can be very tempting to sit back and wait for it to happen. And I'm quite often trying to talk people out of that reaction to it. It need not be the end, it could actually be the beginning, which it was for me, a really good and fun career.
My involvement with prostate cancer is to promote the health and well-being in all men, because prostate cancer is a man's disease, and basically what it does, it will destroy a man's life. And so therefore I actually do a lot of talks. I go out into the community and I run workshops and do talks about educating men about the dangers of prostate cancer.
My name is Denton Wilson.
What's your act?
Natural bodybuilding and robotics combined.
Okay.
The difference that bodybuilding has made to my life, it's made me more of a stronger person. It makes me a more disciplined person. It makes me realize that fast food, all the kind of wrong elements that I was involved in at that time was no good for me. So I looked at things that actually focus around health and well-being, and bodybuilding had those elements in it, and that's why I chose to do bodybuilding. And see, I can give you 3 reasons why bodybuilding is important to me. Number 1, it's a very disciplined sport, right? Number 2, it's all about health and nutrition, eating the right food and the proper training. And the third, it motivates your mind to make your body stronger, better, perform better. And this overcomes, all these 3 things overcome certain elements of having cancer. It's about nutrition and training, and have the mindset of the disciplined sport that it is. Personal meaning of what bodybuilding has done in my life is actually put me on a pedestal so I can actually help other men, because they will see that having prostate cancer and then as a bodybuilder, right, you don't give up, that you can actually beat prostate cancer, but it's having a mental attitude and being able to adapt to having to look at changing the way you live regarding your diet, regarding training. So that in itself puts me on that pedestal, and I in then help other men to learn from me how they can actually survive this particular disease.
Now here is a message for you guys out there. A short word of warning. Take care and beware. If you have trouble peeing with all of your might, or have to get up more than once in the night, if all you can do is dribble and strain, zip yourself up and then do it again, then the prick you should look for is called a blood test, and the doctors and scientists do all the rest. Your little prostate may be starting to grow and squeeze on your organs, and you will not know. But your pipe, called urethra, goes right through the middle, which is why when it grows, it gets harder to piddle. It will only get worse, it will not just improve. So make early arrangements to ease or remove this walnut-sized organ that causes such grief before it's too late. Sort it out. Get relief. It may not be cancer, it could just have grown. So a quick exploration and all will be known, but if it is cancer, you have to be quick to catch it and treat it before you get sick. Knowing that much more than previously, I actually will have a termination date. There's been a lot of discussion with the family about how we end my journey. My preference is for cremation, and I'm very fortunate volunteering at Poles and Lacey, which has incredibly beautiful grounds, and there's one particular garden there that is quiet, looks over the valley, and for me is ideal, so I'm quite happy for them to cremate me and scatter me there. Hopefully we'll put a bench up there so they can just come and sit with me, but I couldn't ask for much more.
My spiritual conviction that I have is that I believe in one God, and God has many names, but God is God to me, and I know that He exists because He's been a part of my life ever since the day I was born, and He continues to be a part of my life. The way that I see my life going is being really, really challenging. It's an up and down struggle, but being spiritually minded has helped me a great deal, because without God I am nothing, and with God I'm everything, and that has actually helped me be the person that I am, because I'm full of love, I'm full of giving, full of understanding, and I just want to help people.
my philosophy of life is always, I suppose, enjoy every day. Having any serious illness makes one very aware how fragile a thing life is, and that so much time is wasted in stress and argument when everything is there for us. So to try and enjoy each day, enjoy what's around me, and to try and help others enjoy theirs, I think that's my philosophy now.